5D Mystery School.
Peace, peace. Happy July. I prepared a little slideshow for you today, but first I just want to set up for the slideshow. We're going to be talking about Uranus and Gemini. This is a transition that is going to take place, I believe, around July the 11th. And it's going to be until July, no, it's going to be until 2033. So from July the 11th 2025 to 2033. And this is not just any old Uranus transition. This is going to be Uranus return for the United States of America. So simultaneously, let's just recap. We have a Pluto return that's happening, a Jupiter return that's happening, a Chiron return that's happening, right? And we also have a Uranus return that is happening. And Neptune is just past the midpoint, the mid return. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. We also have a Pallas Athena return that's happening. So it's just a pivotal um moment right now for the United States. A lot of changes are taking place in our lifetime that future generations will be talking about. So 2025, I've been saying this for at least the past 5 years that 2025 is going to be one of the most important years of human history. It's going to set the tone for a lot of years that are going to be proceeding it. Okay. And one of the main reasons why this is so important is because of the returns, the Pluto return, especially the deconstruction of America, the rebirth of America, Jupiter return, increasing lands given back to, native peoples, increasing security on the home front, which could lead to some type of martial law situation, birth, birthrights, right? But also Chiron return. And this is just a lot of discussions around the identity of America, how America was built, indigenous peoples of America, the children of America, like the indigenous children of America, the identity and how it was birthed from what it truly was to when you had tribes, copper colored people that were roaming America to now the corporation of America. That's that Chiron opening those wounds and truly bringing in a rebirth because Chiron here is at the 20th degree. But today we're just going to be talking about the Uranus return, the natal Uranus being at the 8th degree, right? And this is important because the 8th degree is not like the 20th degree, which is the highest degree of Scorpio, but the 8th degree is the rebirth of America, right? The literal rebirth. America's about to have the Phoenix moment. And this transition can very well enter enter us into another world war. I didn't put this on the slides that I'm going to show you because I've been talking about this. This transition alone, being in the house of open enemies, right? The last time it was here in the house of open enemies, what happened? A world war. World War II to be specific. And this time it's no different. We're right there at the initial point of another major large scale war. Okay, so with that being said, let me just go ahead and dive into this slideshow that I prepared for you today. All right, Uranus, as the ancients like to say, Uranus in Gemini 2025. Okay, here's a sign, the symbol for Uranus, the glyph for Uranus. Another glyph for Uranus is like it looks like Mars, but instead of slanting to the side, it points straight up. So Uranus has two different glyphs, and this is all based on the sun and the moon. All right, you can see it here in the glyphs. Okay. So briefly, I'm just going to tell you about the history of the more of the recent history of Uranus and Gemini and what happened in the past, and then I'm going to share my predictions for Uranus and Gemini. Okay? So 1942, Secure Communication System patent. Hedy Lamarr and George Antheil received a patent for a secret communication system that utilized frequency hopping, a technique that would later become fundamental to Wi-Fi technology. That was 1942, the last time Uranus was in Gemini. 1944 to 1945, the transatlantic telephone cable. Many of you might know we have a long cable that's underwater that connects us to other countries. It's not like the satellites you would think that is connecting us. It's this long underwater cable that connects us. Don't be surprised if something were to happen to that underwater cable, if it were to be bombed or something. This would be very symbolic, especially since the last time we had a Uranus return, the establishment of the telephone cable happened. So while its completion was in 1945, the groundwork for this significant undersea communication link was being developed during this period. This marked a major step in long-distance telecommunications. Plain and simple. 1946, L1 coaxial cable system, developed by Bell Telephone Laboratories, which is now AT&T. This system significantly increased the capacity for long-distance telephone transmission. Also in 1946, junction solar cell patent. Russell Shoemaker O at Bell Labs patented the junction solar cell, a significant development in semiconductor technology with future communication applications. That was in 1946. 1947, point contact transistor, invented by John Bardeen and Walter H. Brattain at the Bell Labs. This was the first practical transistor, a revolutionary device that paved the way for modern electronics and telecommunications. Also, the bit. John W. Tukey coined the term bit in relation to information theory, a foundational concept for digital communication. The bit. So, what does this mean for 2025? This is going to evolve into the quantum bit. Write that down, the quantum bit. 1948, bipolar junction transistor. William Shockley and his team at Bell Labs invented the bipolar junction transistor, a more robust and widely applicable, oh my God, transistor that than the early point contact version. All right. First electronic stored program computer, Manchester baby. This machine, developed at the University of Manchester, successfully ran the world's first, oh, excuse me, the world's first program on an electronic stored computer, a mathematical theory of communication. Claude Shannon published his seminal paper in the Bell System Technical Journal, establishing the field of information theory and introducing concepts like Shannon entropy. First barcode. Norman J. Woodland and Bernard Silver invented the first barcode design, initially intended for supermarket inventory management and checkout. So now we are moving into my predictions for this Uranus return. All right, so let's just get into it. 2025 to 2033. Okay. Independent media. This is important. Changes in the way we receive our daily news. More independent sources from social media will begin will become the new source of trusted media. You can already see the beginning stages of this with platforms like TikTok, even YouTube, where people are just simply going to stop trusting CNN, CNBC, NBC, right? And they're going to move to getting their news mainly from the internet. And when we move to holograms, this is going to be even more of a noticeable shift, right? Especially with televisions truly being on their way out, like physical TVs. It's just people are the trust is waning from big media companies, especially when you notice who they are owned by. People are really starting to look towards who they can trust with getting real-time information. For example, when it comes to certain getting different perspectives about the war, how other people are living on the other side of the world. You're going to get an inside view of people on the ground with their telephones showing you how they are truly living, showing you what's really going on and what's not being shown on these big media platforms, right? That's going to be a big switch. The independent media is going to be major, huge. All right. And before I move on, let me just say that, which is on code with what I'm about to continue to do with these predictions. None of this information was sourced from ChatGPT. This is all independent study and research. And I think that's important to say because we are moving into a time where, and you're already starting to see it online, major thought pieces from people, major content is coming from ChatGPT. You're seeing full-blown articles written by ChatGPT and it's being credited to writers, right? AI integrity is going to be a hell of a thing where it's really going to be hard to distinguish for some people if what you are reading online, is it coming from the mind of AI or is it coming from the mind of somebody else? So with that being said, I didn't write it down on here, but people are really going to start to seek out newspapers, magazines, like actual things written by humans, like written by humans, made by humans, like that is going to be a big thing because we are moving into a time where art, music, like a lot of things are going to be in the hands of artificial intelligence. So when I say independent media, like journals, you know, like newspapers is going to make a huge comeback. Trust me, newspapers, uh, journals, blogs, like people are going to want to hear from actual humans instead of AI. And AI has a lot of the same nuances. When you read a piece online, it can be, oh, it's not just big, but it's grand big. Like AI talks the same on a lot of different, pieces. I can tell ChatGPT lingo from a mile away, from a light year away. So when I say independent media, that's what I mean. A lot of the old forms of media are going to come back, newspapers being one of them. Trust and believe. Okay. The end of physical phones. Communicating will evolve to include holography and wearable devices. So think smart glasses. Y'all remember back in 2012, Google had the Google Lens. It wasn't really ready for the public then, but you can see it's coming back out now. Physical computers. Like in 20 years, the children are going to be like, what's a computer? Right? Because it's all going to be wearable devices, headsets. Think three body problem where you can put on a headset and it's like your reality is not going to change. Like, I don't know if you all seen Google Veil 3, but imagine that type of experience, but you put on your headset. So you put on your headset and you interact with people like you see in Google Veil 3. You're not able to distinguish whether you are in a simulated reality or our reality. That is going to be what we're moving into. So the end of physical phones is going to be you putting on a wearable device and the person you speaking to is going to appear right next to you. Holography. And with haptic suits, with haptic implants, you're going to be able to give your friend a high five just by putting on the phone, a physical high five. So slowly but surely, they're going to introduce like you can already see the glass on a lot of phones are getting bigger. So your phone is pretty much like one large piece of glass. That is slow conditioning. Less of a border around the screen, more glass, right? That is called slow conditioning. So where you can be used to having majority of your phone being glass, and then the next phase being like some little flexible, like actual glass, like I don't want to say plexiglass, but some type of bendable, like hologram type of device. And then it's going to become more normal to have wearable devices. Okay. So the end of physical phones. AI telephones is going to be big. Like when I say wearable devices, imagine phones with no screens, but it's just AI keeping track of everything. Okay. Automobile evolution. Customized vehicles will become more of the norm. People will begin to build their own vehicles using 3D printing and artificial intelligence. So AI systems will be able to walk somebody through step by step how to build an engine, printing out your complete frame from 3D printing with these large scale 3D printers that are going to be released to the public. Right now, we have like the small box type 3D printers, but trust and believe the larger um, 3D printers, that's some are going to be like the size of garages, but a lot of them are going to be the size of cars. And people are going to be able to purchase those. They're going to be really expensive at first, but then, of course, go down in price. So customized vehicles is going to be a big norm. So I'm talking like aqua blue, fluorescent orange, purple, like all like wow different colors. Like you're going to see when I say colors, you're going to see colors like you've never seen on vehicles, especially from 2025 to 2033. Mark my words, man. Write that down. Colors you've never seen before on these vehicles. Okay. Speaking of, I wonder if Jaguar has an astrologer on their team because I seen that Jaguar was releasing like a pink car and I put on Twitter, that's Uranus and Gemini coded. Just wait for it. They're ahead of the curve. That's going to be the norm. Air vehicles would begin to become the norm for transportation, smart buses and air taxis. So the capability to turn your car into a flying car. We've been talking about flying cars since I was a teenager. It's not going to be something that happens overnight because there are going to be a lot of discussions about, well, people have driver's license. They don't have, um, pilot's license. So people are going to have to learn through 3D train, like virtual reality training, which is going to be the new driving school of how to fly these vehicles. So you're going to have to get a passing score on your VR driving module before you're able to purchase one of these vehicles. So you're not going to have to go to a driving school with a driving instructor doing a, you know, um, 3-point turn, reversing in, all of that. It's going to be VR AI assisted driving modules where the AI is going to determine whether you are ready to fly one of these vehicles. But a lot of them are going to be flown by AI anyway. Right? A lot of them are going to be flown by AI anyway, and that's going to be the initial problem solver for these systems. Well, How do we stop these cars from flying out of the sky? Well, let's just have smart systems, artificial intelligence, which is going to bring us closer to the singularity, where this is going to really bring in the advent of AGI, artificial general intelligence, smart buses, right? Which is going to really be controlled by implants instead of, going to a system and paying for your bus fare. Just going to have enough tokens on your smart implant to make sure that you can ride that bus. A lot of cities will be free though. Okay. Pluto, and now I'm just going to talk about two different aspects before we get out of here. Sorry if I'm making this long, but I really wanted to make this video in a way to where you could watch it 5 years from now and see these things are coming to fruition. All right. Even if I'm not here physically. Pluto and Aquarius, trine with Uranus and Gemini. Complete rebirth of our communication systems with artificial intelligence integration. So that's why I was talking about with the smartphones, you know, quantum computers, quantum computing changing the way we interact with AI and each other. Oh boy. Computers as we know them. The thing about millennials is that we were around to see the birth of the internet, the birth of like computers as we know them today. And we're also going to be here to see the birth of quantum computing. When like imagine a chat room where you're surrounded by people like a club. Yeah. So with quantum computing, one of the main ways to interact with quantum computing is going to be virtual realities because with quantum computing, you're going to be able to establish and create quantum worlds. Like people are going to have their own worlds. Trust and believe, man. Right now we have TikTok, right? Where you can just scroll, get a glimpse into people's, reality. Imagine a, well, I'm getting ahead of myself because I don't think I wrote that down, so let me just say it. Imagine a complete AI social media platform where instead of just getting small glimpses of people's world, you can put on a VR headset and you can take a tour through their house, take a tour through their world. They can build a whole amusement park with AI. You can ride their specific rides, right? Like people can build a house of emotion, a house of horrors, like whatever, and you can take a literal trip through their homes, like Adventure Island, right? Let's say you enter into somebody's world. Like, what would you do if you were on an island stranded for 30 days, right? And you would enter in their world and be on an island for like 30 days, but in reality, it's only been like 5 or 10 minutes max. That's going to be the thing. Time differentiation, where you can be on a gaming console what seems to be like days, but in your reality, it's only been like a few hours. Automobile autopilot. More people will be used to not touching the steering wheel while driving. It might be there for decoration, but it's going to be AI driving. Okay. Driverless taxis and buses will spread throughout the country. You won't need a navigation system. They will know the system. Waze, Google Maps, Apple Maps, like all of that is going to be integrated into these AI systems to where you won't even need to know the name of streets anymore. So let's say, right, one day you decide to leave your house and you're like, okay, I should take a right on Jefferson to go down. Oh, let me go to 7 Mile. People are going to be so lost because they're going to be used to AI driving and learning the directions and them not having to memorize any directions anymore. To one, people are not going to know how to drive like a car with a steering wheel, how to shift gears. And two, people are going to be lost, like physically lost when it comes to navigating themselves. Using maps is going to be a thing of the past, right? Of course, maps are going to move to holograms, but it's going to be a different way of people using them, right? AI is going to be doing most of the thinking with these um, holographic maps. Artificial intelligence will become the main educator in many schooling systems. Many schooling systems. Teachers, it's going to be a thing of the past. First, teachers are going to move to VR classrooms, of course, because you have slow conditioning. It can't just all happen overnight. So you're going to have VR classrooms. And the thing that's really going to make VR classrooms like more widely acceptable by a lot of people is the increase of school shootings. Like more school shootings than we're seeing now is just going to make people feel really unsafe in the classroom. And people are going to suggest having VR classrooms as, you know, one of the solutions. So, and that's going to first start off with your teachers teaching you via VR and then switch over to AI being the teacher. Okay. The way that we currently do taxes will change with more automation and less manual calculation. So AI is going to be doing all your taxes for you. It's going to be hard for people to take a lot of shortcuts. All right. And another thing with tax automation is that universal basic income is going to be big. AI taking more jobs, but the trade-off is people working less. So no need to take out your taxes because you're not going to be working, right? Time's going to be your time is going to be used in other ways. You're going to be making your money via VR, digital coins. And that's where people building these VR worlds come into play. Like imagine putting on a headset and going to work, bro. Like you working in somebody's digital salon. That trust me, that is going to be the new way that people get their money. But the main way until we move to that full integration is going to be what we're seeing now with apps. So you download an app and you become like a freelancer. Your job is dependent on the needs, and all of your jobs going to be picked up through the app. So you're not going to really be tied down to one physical office anymore, right? Sex brothels will start to pop up. Imagine a place that you could visit and have your wildest sexual fantasies fulfilled by AI. The loss of physical human touch. Yeah, yeah. The first fully AI gaming console will be introduced, which will cut the need for physical gaming CDs. We are in the last days of those, my people. GameStop, you on your way out, my G. Bye bye. The console will cut the need for joysticks, but will include gloves for a fully immersive experience. Plain and simple. AI dating apps will match people based on astrological connections. Juno, Cupid, right? Love. A lot of these asteroids that people don't really take into consideration when we talk about love, right? Venus. People are going to be connected based off their astrological connections, which is going to really increase the love because you're going to just have so much in common with this person. But a lot of people are going to be against it because it's like, well, I don't want to be matched by AI. I want to go find a person at the library or the store. But a lot of people are going to be for it. Going to have a lot of advocates for it. Worldwide gaming competitions. A gaming platform like Netflix will host VR gaming shows where you can watch people play and compete. That's going to be big. Mark that one down. That's going to be huge. You can win digital coins this way. Right? A lot of people are going to make money that way. Think Ready Player One, right? All right, so the next aspect, and I'll just go through these briefly. Uranus and Gemini trine with Neptune and Virgo, right? Uranus and Gemini being in the seventh house, Neptune and Virgo being in the 10th house. Digital Afterlife will be introduced. Think of the show Upload on Amazon. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And for the VR stuff I was talking about, go watch the show Peripheral. A lot of the stuff that is coming in the future, they put in TV shows, man. A lot of our programs now is just glimpses of the future, thanks to programs that are ran by DARPA where they can manipulate the electromagnetic grid and take a peer into nonlinear time. But we're not going to get into that right now. Digital pets will make a comeback. Digital pets will make a comeback. Okay. Hopefully not, but there might be a disease that really, you know, wipe out a lot of pets, dogs and cats. So digital pets will make a big comeback. Think digipets. Those I forget what they're called. Those little pets that we used to have on these little VR devices. They're like VR pets, man. Us millennials had a lot of stuff when we were younger that truly like was ahead of its time. We used to have devices that can like listen through walls, watches that can change the TV. Like they introduced a lot of stuff on us when we were younger. Ask a millennial friend, did you really have a hearing device that can hear through walls? Yep. Did you have a watch that can change any TV? Yep. Digital pets. Like we had a lot of stuff like that, man. So that's going to make it come back. Household devices that will monitor your health. So think of using the bathroom and your blood pressure data being available to you. Think of the movie The Island. All right, The Island. Scarlett Johansson. Think Ewan McGregor. So you go to the bathroom, you do your business. Your sodium levels are unusually high. Please reduce salt intake. Like something like that. It's going to be quite like that. AI assisted births. So plain and simple. People giving birth being assisted by artificial intelligence. Systems hooked up to you know, their privates and AI doing the work. A lot of people are going to be against it, and so doulas are going to come into play. Assisted births by doulas because people are going to want a human to help them. So if you are thinking about being a doula, this is your sign to go into that because you're going to be needed in the near future. Actors that have passed away will star in current films being made. So their likeliness being used, complete holograms being used for shows. So think James Dean in a movie that's coming out in 2025. Right? Yeah. Um, think of a new film being directed by uh, Alfred Hitchcock. A new movie starring Marilyn Monroe. Some Like It Hot Part 2. You know, I like that film, Some Like It Hot. Smart missiles guided by AI. Plain and simple. Internet of bodies. The internet as we know it will change. And instead of using routers and modems, people will have personal wearable devices that can connect to the omnipresent internet connection. It's going to be everywhere. Think Skynet. The internet will be everywhere. The grid will expand, and every move you make will be monitored. It's going to be a lot harder to be off grid. Even I'm living off grid right now. I still depend on my phone for internet connection. That's how I'm doing this video right now. All right. There will be VR museums with interactive art. There will also be museums that will let you experience interacting with extinct animals. So putting on a VR headset and interacting with a saber-toothed tiger, a woolly mammoth, right? A possibility of AI running the government. People not trusting in humans no more. A lot of people won't trust AI either, but they're going to say, "Oh, AI won't be biased." AI. Okay. So, AI playing a larger role in government, right? Neptune, 22nd degree in Virgo, 10th house, trying to with Uranus and Gemini in the house of contracts, in the house of governance. AI churches will change connections to higher power. AI churches is going to be pretty big, man. Right? AI churches. Whew. I feel like hopefully that was brief. So that's what we're looking at, man. That's what we're looking at. Right now, Uranus is at the 29th degree. All right. So just a few days, in 10 days, we're going to be here. Uranus is going to make that switch. And trust me, you're going to be able to feel it. You are going to be able to feel it. Trust and believe. So if you don't believe me, during this window, between now and the end of July, even between now and July 11th, keep your eyes on what happens with this war that's escalating, especially on July the 4th. Okay? Mm. All right. So once again, I appreciate you all being here for watching this video all the way through, especially if you're still here. If you have enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Let the algorithm know that you are rocking with this channel so more people can view these astrological analysis as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Keep your head on the swivel. Be careful out there. All right. Much love to you and yours. Peace out.
5D Mystery School.